Hey guys, Silverlord here, back in with another action figure review. Today I'll be kicking off my looks at the Cosmic Legion's Outpost Zaxxius wave with the Tusk Pilot. This, of course, is brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios. And before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all the Tusk Pilot has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of alternate hands. He's got a right trigger finger on him currently and a left grip hand. This, of course, is a invert of that. We got a left trigger finger and a right grip hand. The grip hands not having the right hinge for holding weapons, but the trigger fingers do, so that's good, I guess. And he's got his Ninja Turtle game going on because he's got three fingers there, so that's kind of fun. That said, we also get a couple little doodads for his wrist. We get the little launcher blaster thing and the hologram of the spaceship, which is pretty fun. Kind of like the Cosmic Walter, in a sense that this guy comes with a lot of the same stuff. We get a couple of blasters. We get this long kind of rifle type blaster. And then we get this pistola here, which does have a little peg on it. If you are so inclined to use that, you can. That said, we also get this alternate alien head, which is pretty fun. I like that quite a bit. And if we take this head off, we can easily pop this alien head on. Like so. And there's your Tusk Pilot unhelmeted. And like all Tusk helmets, the little visor piece can pop off the front. He doesn't come with an alternate visor piece, but I think he comes with enough accessories to get by. Personally, I would prefer two pistols and two wrist blaster things, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. That said, as far as extra stuff that's not attached to him in the package, these pauldrons were not attached to him in the package. Those were separate. Had to plug them in. And this torso armor, or collar piece, whatever you want to call it, was a separate piece as well. Had to attach that. And then the tubers going into the collar there and into his wrists. I'm not sure where these are necessarily supposed to go. Sometimes I like to put them down here on his hips. That way there's less tube in the way. But that's just me. I can get it down there on this side. It's a little tight. It's a little tricky if you don't line it up, but once you get it in there, it's in there. It's gonna stay. It will kind of push on the arms a bit, but that's the name of the game, unfortunately. But there you go. There's your Tusk Pilot. Looking pretty spiffy. And truth be told, this is actually my first Tusk figure, not naming the Zaxxians, of course. Because eagle-eyed viewers of the channel might remember I did review the deluxe Tusk figure from the Grave Knight wave, Cosmic Legion's Wave 2. But that was Mr. Brian, aka the old man, aka my dad's figure. He was nice enough to loan it to me to review. Whereas this one is all mine all the time. And I'm quite happy with him. I love the colors. The red looks really sharp on this figure. I will say there are a couple gripes I have, but we'll get to that. So as far as articulation goes, his big, not hammerhead looking head can look up and down and tilt and rotate. Shoulders can go out back down. You know, if you're not a wuss, you can get those out a lot further than I just did. There you go. But you can rotate them forward and back. He's got a elbow swivel with a hinge. Not the tightest hinge ever, but it is just the elbow, so I can forgive that. He does have a gauntlet twist, as well as a swivel in the wrist with, again, the appropriate hinge on the trigger hand, not appropriate hand on the grip hand. He's got a ball jointed waist. It gets pretty good range. Forward, back, it's kind of whatever. And then side to side's alright. Hips will kick out, back down. They will rotate forward and back. He's got a thigh cut. Single knee with rotation below the knee. And then the feet are on the ball hinges, so they rotate. They hinge up and down. And of course they rock. So the ankles, I gotta say, are not the best on this guy. They're a little loose. I think they need to tighten up the joints. This one's not bad, but it's still not great. So yeah, I might have to get those ankles replaced. They're just too loose for me. And I'm not one to mess with my figures in that sense, tightening them up and stuff. It's just something I've never really had luck with. And I'd rather my figures just not be loose, you know? So hopefully they'll be nice enough to help me out with that. You know, customer service at 4-H is pretty reliable as far as that goes. They do get swamped, so I'm hoping I can get towards the beginning of the line, because I'm still waiting on my Poxus replacement parts, if you can believe that. So that said, that is the Tusk Pilot in a nutshell. And my apologies in advance. I'm not going to be doing size comparisons like I normally would for this wave. I want to get these videos done fast and efficiently, and I'm not going to be able to do that if I have to dig up a bunch of figures that are currently tucked away in storage, or just set up to where I don't want to mess up a bunch of stuff to get to them. So you're going to have to bear with me. The size comparisons are going to be a little lackluster for a little bit, but we'll get back to your regularly scheduled size comparisons once we're done reviewing this Cosmic Legions wave. That said, I do have a Mythic Legions handy, because we got to bring in our two regulars. That's just a given. So we got Brother Mandibulus representing Mythic Legions there, and the infamous K11 Spawn representing the Todd Father there. That said, this guy obviously would be a primo member of the Men in Red and Black Club. So with that being said, I think it is time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from a few gosh darn loose joints, I have to say that I really thoroughly enjoy our Tusk Pilot here, for being my first Tusk character. Again, not naming the Zaxxians, of course. I really like this guy, despite the fact that it is primarily reuse, as far as I can tell anyways. Not quite sure if that alien head he's rocking is new or not, but I do recognize a lot of these other parts, and I have to say that despite the fact that they are reused parts, if there's anything that the fine folks over at 4 Horsemen Studios have proven to us, is that they are masters of reuse. And even though a lot of figures might share the same parts, they don't exactly look the same, especially with a super slick and sharp candy apple red metallic paint deco like the good old Tusk Pilot here is a rockin', dare I say. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.